And then she came back with the manager that he was talking about. She was like, tell her what you told me. I was like, hi, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about basically the story time that I was talking about in the other video. This is the story time right now. So yeah, basically this is like one of my craziest work stories. I've worked at a fair amount of jobs, and usually like nothing that crazy happens except for my other job. Except for my other job where one of the managers was getting it on with an underage worker. But I can't really do a story time for that because I don't really know what's going on. I don't know. He just disappeared and so did she. So, and then HR had to come and all that stuff. But this is like the most drama-filled story that I have that actually like involves me up close and personal. So I was working at this store, and usually for me, just when I go to work, I'm not crazy sociable. But like if someone's talking to me, I'm not gonna ignore them. I'll usually just listen, whatever, fake love, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I was working at this store with my friend, and then when she didn't have shifts, you know, gotta stand on my own, whatever. And so there was this one lady that was older than me, and that was white. And I know you're thinking, why is that important? But as I begin to unravel the story, it'll make sense why it is. But yeah, so she like took a liking to me for some reason, and she would like, whenever she talked to me, I would listen. Like, I don't know, I'm not just gonna ignore you. But yeah, she was like playing around with one of the guys, and they said something offensive. She's like, oh, don't do that, I'm gonna get Miracle on you. Mind you, I wouldn't have done anything. So anytime she would say that, I would just be like, oh, okay. I don't really like to make work friendships, and I feel like she was kind of trying to form friendships, so I was just kind of like, oh, okay. And so yeah, and she'd always be like me and my friend were talking about quitting, and she'd be like, y'all tell me, because when y'all quit, I'm gonna quit. And we were like, oh, okay. And so whatever, like, you know, she does her little weird stuff, and I just like sweep it under the rug because I'm like, it's not enough of a big deal for me to really do anything about it. I'm gonna give her a name. Her name is gonna be Gabby. And we had another manager. His name's gonna be Arnold. So Arnold was a weirdo, but I don't know, that's Arnold's business. We don't talk enough for that to matter to me. But he was the first person who, I promise you, like before, like 2 or 3 years ago, I didn't know that Nigerians had a cliche or a stereotype of being scammers. And when I was like onboarding, getting all my stuff into the system, he was like, oh, you a scammer, you're Nigerian, you're a scammer. I was like, what are you, like, where's this even coming from? So Arnold and Gabby both are in like young 20s and both have kids. Arnold like would get on people and like make jokes. Half the time they weren't funny. So that, like I said, it has nothing to do with me. They made a joke about this other manager that we had, so many people, it's frustrating. But anyways, Arnold made a joke about this other manager that we had that was bigger, and he was like, he's so stupid. It was me, a coworker, and Arnold. And then Arnold was like, oh, like to the other coworker, he was like, oh, you're big, but like you're not like, you know, the other manager, basically saying that. And so after that happened, you know, I thought me and Gabby were like little pen pals, like chit chatty. So I told her what happened, and like literally within 5 minutes, I'm not even talking about days apart, I'm talking about within the same shift, she went back and told the other manager and brought her to the front to talk to me within 5 minutes. So I told Gabby, I was like, oh yeah, Arnold said this, that the other day, that was rude, blah, blah, blah. Literally, y'all, like I'm not even kidding, she didn't take a break. She was like, oh really? She just left and she walked to the front office, and I was like, I wonder why she's leaving. And then she came back with the manager that he was talking about. She was like, tell her what you told me. I was like, I was so like, because I really hate work drama, and I was like, girl, I was just trying to confide in you with this, what you did to me. So after that happened, I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna tell you anything about anything ever. And yeah, like she would keep talking to me and whatever. And I was just like, okay, girl, okay. Had to do a quick set change. But after that little fat joke happened, and I told her, and then she told the person that it was about, Arnold kept on making jokes. Like anytime I was around, he was like, oh, you can't tell. He was like, oh, you can't tell Miracle anything because, you know, she's gonna snitch. And I was like, okay. And like I said, that energy and that atmosphere is what I always try to avoid. And I promise you, like, out of all the jobs I've worked, that was the first time that it literally ever happened. So that happened and it had me annoyed. Basically, he made a joke about her because she was pregnant again. He was like, oh, rubber, you don't like to use those. And whatever, in the moment, nobody really cared. And then like either a day after an hour, I don't know, sometime after, she made the same joke because he has kids too. And she was like, oh, rubber, you don't like to use those. So they're like, I don't know, they're 1 and 1 at this point. They both doing the same thing. So all that happened and I just thought like, whatever, it's over, they're over it. I walked into work like a couple days after and she was like, oh, I just got Arnold fired, you're welcome. And so basically she had like told the higher ups, like HR or somebody, that she was like sexually harassed. And it's so crazy because she literally, like, she said the same thing to him. And then she was like, no, because what he said, that's sexual harassment, you don't do that. And I was like, oh, okay. And so all that happened, and then like HR came and a bunch of higher ups people came, and literally he got fired, and also our like the manager above him got fired. And the manager above him was the best manager and he was super nice. So yeah, after that, obviously I wasn't feeling her. And then like she brought her baby daddy in, and he's Nigerian, and he also came with her kid. And like it was just embarrassing because you could like tell she like forced him to come, but Arnold wasn't in, and we all knew that Arnold wasn't in. So like she forced him to come check Arnold, but Arnold wasn't there. And then she was like, I promise you, like he came in the calmest ever you could be. And then she was like, no, like don't get mad, do not get mad about that. I tell him he cannot come check him. And I was like, oh, okay. And her kid is super cute, and her kid was smiling at me, so obviously I'm gonna smile back. And then she was like, just because he's Nigerian and my kid is half Nigerian. I was like, okay. So yeah, she was definitely a trip. And so all that happened, and a bunch of people got fired, and yeah, that's all. And since then, honestly, like I promise you, that's the first and last time anything like that has ever happened. She was definitely a trip. So thanks for watching.